Owls. And we do have warmer weather coming to our area. If you just take yesterday and carbon copy it, it's going to look like that today. Details today.
Sounds great, Rhonda. Thank you very much. First on to a desperate search is on right now in Milwaukee for a missing 4-year-old. Mattel Sanchez disappeared from his home on Southeast Daphne Court around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Dozens of crews searched all night long for any sign of him, and dozens of people have been searching ever since. This morning, a National Guard chopper was called in to help. Now, this is Jet Ranger 2 live above the area where 60 to 70 people are looking for this boy. Crews are from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Department and Milwaukee Police. There are also Explorer Scouts searching for Mattel. We have team coverage on this. KATU's Bob High has the massive effort to find this boy, including some cutting-edge technology being used by searchers. We begin with KATU's John Capel with more on Mattel Sanchez and when his family realized he was gone. John?
Well, Natalie, I am in front of the Sanchez family home here. You can see behind me, command post set up in front of the home. The family is inside. They realized he was gone yesterday about 3:30 because they thought his grandmother had him. About 3 hours later when she came home, she was not there. The time is the most important factor working against searchers here, and clearly they're beginning to feel those minutes and hours tick by. 4-year-old Mattel Zachary Sanchez has been missing now almost 21 hours since he vanished yesterday. An Army Air National Guard helicopters looking from the air, and some 60 to 70 searchers are working the ground, looking behind and under everything.
Of course, we want to always encourage people that live within a 2-mile radius of the area of disappearance to be sure and check their homes, their cars, their property to see if maybe they can be of assistance, and just check those areas to see if maybe that might help provide some leads.
Now, the FBI has been called in to help. Police say they have ruled out nothing. Mattel simply may have gotten lost, or he might have been abducted. They have interviewed all the known sex offenders in the area and spoken with Mattel's father, who does not live with the family here. Now, no Amber Alert has been issued. That's because they have no suspect or vehicle license number to look for. However, they do have a car they would like to locate. It's described as a 2000 or newer, smaller green car, possibly a Ford Escort. It was seen in the cul-de-sac around the time Mattel disappeared. Now, take a good look at Mattel. He's 3 feet tall and weighs 45 pounds. He was last seen wearing black jeans, a short-sleeved black and gray T-shirt, and brown sandals. Now, if you see him, call the tip line that's been set up. Here it is. It's 503-786-7492. Live in Milwaukee, John Capel, KATU News.
All right, John, thanks. Now, the National Guard helicopter is using some new technology to help search for Mattel. It's sending a video of their aerial search down to ground crews so they can better see the terrain they're walking through. KATU's Bob High joins us live from LaSalle High School in Milwaukee with the very latest on this search. Bob?
That's right, Natalie. This is the Search Coordination Center you see behind me for the search this morning. Crews are taking part in this search. They are looking over the area that, again, is about 2 square miles. Ground crews are using a new system as part of that search that, in a very real sense, allows them to fly along with the helicopter crew, helping in the search in order to conduct that ground search as well.
45 pounds.
Ground crews.
Mattel Sanchez is wearing brown sandals, blue jeans, black and gray shirt.
Make final preparations before heading out to search for little Mattel Zachary Sanchez. This morning, they're getting high-tech help. An Oregon Army National Guard helicopter searching the area is linked by microwave to a ground receiver. Inside search headquarters, crews watch a monitor. They see what the helicopter sees.
So we can get very specific into what area we want to go into. We're in contact with them via the radio so that we can actually talk them into a target area.
The chopper has both visual and heat-sensing cameras. This is only the second time crews have used this system. They say it can be a big help.
So that's helpful to us, so we're not relaying back and forth constantly. If they see something, we can see directly what they're seeing.
It's got to be a huge asset for searching.
It's very big, and it's so fine they can get right down to a license plate.
That's especially valuable since crews have to comb through the newly expanded 2-mile radius search zone, but the system is limited. Areas that can't be seen from the air must still be searched on foot. The helicopter can also miss small details, footprints, or discarded clothing. Ground crews are targeting nearby areas like the heavy brush near North Clackamas Aquatic Park, areas the 4-year-old boy and his family have been to recently, and he might have wandered back to. Once again, you're looking at a live picture from Jet Ranger 2 of some of the areas that crews have to search. You can see just how heavily wooded some of those areas are. Searchers expanded their search zone today based on studies of other missing children and how far they can wander in the time little Matal has been missing. The average is a mile radius, but it's been possible. Those studies have shown that that 4-year-old could have traveled as much as 2 miles. That's why they've expanded the search zone. Again, they've searched cars in the area. They've searched even trunks of cars parked in the area. Again, no sign of Matal so far. Live at LaSalle High School at the search headquarters, Bob High, KATU News.
Okay, Bob, we know you'll keep us posted, and of course we'll go back to you immediately if you learn of anything new. Right now we do have some other news. 4 teenagers are in juvenile detention this morning accused of brutally beating a girl in Milwaukee and videotaping it. The girl who was attacked made this frantic 911 phone call.
Is this a mother and a daughter or what?
No, I just got my ass beat. I need you to come right now.
Who is it that hit you?
A bunch of people, please.
The attack happened at this home in Milwaukee Tuesday night when the 15-year-old victim went to visit her ex-boyfriend. Sheriff's detectives say 3 teenagers punched, kicked, and dragged her by the hair for 7 minutes while another teenager videotaped. The alleged attackers include 2 girls and the victim's ex-boyfriend.
You know, I just know that there may have been some conflict between the girls for whatever reason. But again, you know, conflict or any kind of beef you have with somebody is certainly not worth or not, you know, doesn't account for something like this happening.
Here are the names of the teenagers arrested in connection with this attack. 16-year-olds Kimber Blanchard, Adam Hoke, and Daniel Hagg, as well as 15-year-old Shahayla Morton. Sheriff's deputies say the teens face more serious charges because they planned this attack from the beginning. Fire investigators believe the man who died earlier this week in an apartment fire wanted to kill himself. Just before 5 o'clock Tuesday, an explosion rocked a single apartment in the 4900 block of Southwest Spencer. The blast killed the person inside. His identity will be released once his family has been notified. Fire quickly spread to nearby units, leaving 13 adults and an infant homeless. Jet Ranger 2 flew over the scene. The force of the explosion sent glass shards flying up to 50 feet through the air. A cyclist has been killed. A truck slammed into her bike in East Multnomah County. The accident was just before 7 o'clock last night at Southeast 252nd and Telford. Deputies say the cyclist was coming off Springwater Trail and tried to cross the intersection when that truck hit her. The victim was not wearing a helmet, and her hearing may have been impaired since she was wearing a headset. Investigators are still trying to identify her. There's no word if the driver of the truck faces charges. Expect heavy police patrols along Oregon's highways this holiday weekend. The 4th of July weekend is the deadliest holiday for drivers. Oregon State Police say highways, not freeways, are the most dangerous. Last year, they responded to 289 crashes. 10 people died. Right now, there's a nationwide effort to reduce holiday traffic deaths. This year, there will be an even greater police presence on the road. Well, if you are heading to the beach for the holiday weekend, be prepared for one of the worst traffic tie-ups in the nation. A new AAA study finds the summer tourist spot with the most traffic troubles, the Oregon coast. It says roads leading to the Oregon beach towns are not prepared for heavy summertime crowds. Just last month, Seaside voters rejected a plan that would have widened Highway 101 to 5 lanes.
Traffic congestion, bottlenecks in the summertime, yes, it's very true. I didn't know we were #1, but if you just take a look at the highway right now, you'll see constant people, and this is, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of the week.
Seaside's mayor says it may take another 10 years before the city is ready to make changes to 101. From now on, parents in the state of Oregon will have access to records of school employees who have a record of sexually abusing students. Governor Kulongoski signed a bill that would allow the disciplinary records of school employees who have been convicted of felony sex crimes to be made public. The bill was spearheaded by Senator Vicki Walker following the conviction of Salem teacher Joseph Ballera for sexually abusing 4 students. The bill also requires school boards to adopt policies about reporting child abuse. The Oregon House has passed a bill to make school funding more predictable. The landmark legislation would earmark 51% of personal income tax for education. The bill's sponsor, Karen Minnis, says it would stabilize funding and allow districts to make long-term spending plans. However, opponents call it a spending cap. They say it doesn't do enough to restore cuts made by previous legislatures. The bill moves to the Senate, where its future is uncertain. Still ahead on KATU News this midday, the White House is checking out charges Iran's new president was one of those who held U.S. hostages in Tehran a quarter-century ago. Plus, a storm chaser captures some impressive video of this tornado in Minnesota. Rhonda?
Well, the West Coast is the place to be because we have some beautiful weather ahead. Here's a look at the riverfront camera, and just an hour ago we had clouds overhead, and now they're burning off just as they did yesterday. Find out your afternoon forecast and what we expect around the region just ahead.
You're watching KATU News, the spirit of the Northwest.
Next Jeopardy! Make a house call with the category, is there a doctor in the house?
In 1903, the founder of this brand invented the foot easer.
Get on the good foot. Next Jeopardy!
Tonight at 7 on K2, the spirit of the Northwest.
This week, a lucky Real Watchers Club member could win a trip to explore the beautiful sights of Germany. If we call your number, you could win, so sign up at wheeloffortune.com.
What are you waiting for? Get your spin ID today.
Tonight at 7:30 on K2, the spirit of the Northwest.
Hi.
One more level and I'm there.
I can't believe you're breaking up with me. I've got to go. It works every time.
Dinner time is back. Bring them to the table with the unique home-style taste of original recipe. Hand-floured in a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices and fried to golden perfection. Right now, get 10 pieces for $8.99. Add the fixins to make it a meal. Bring back dinner at KFC.
The central activity in Charlie Smith's life was making and using meth. He didn't care who it harmed. He didn't care who paid for his crimes, not even his own son. Children like little Timmy are forced to live with their parents' folly. They breathe poisoned air, play with toxic toys. We put pseudoephedrine behind the pharmacy counter to make it tougher for meth cooks to make their poison, and it's working. Little Timmy hopes you won't mind the inconvenience. If you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem, call 1-800-923-HELP.
Pizza Hut is on a mission to give your family not one, not two, but 3 cheeses and a triple explosion of cheese flavor. It's the new 3-cheese stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. 3 melted cheeses inside the crust for a totally new, totally cheesy, earth-shattering flavor. Now there's 3 reasons to eat it backwards. Get a large 1-topping new 3-cheese stuffed crust for only $11.99. 3 cheeses and 1 crust, mission accomplished. The new 3-cheese stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut, just $11.99. Only when you gather around the good stuff.
The spirit of the Northwest. K2 News continues.
Welcome back. The newly elected president of Iran dredges up bitter memories for some Americans held captive there 25 years ago. In 1979, militant Islamic students seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. 52 Americans were held hostage for more than a year. Now, at least 5 of those hostages say the face of the new president is all too familiar. ABC's Lauren Rogers explains.
While most Americans took little note of the recent Iranian elections, a few were stunned as they watched the returns on American television. What they saw caused 25-year-old memories to come flooding back. 5 of the former hostages, held for 444 days in the American embassy in Tehran, say they are certain the newly elected Iranian president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, was one of the radical Iranian students who held them at gunpoint all those years ago.
When your life is in jeopardy, you tend to remember things like that.
Ahmadinejad was elected just last week, the favorite candidate of Iran's hardline clerics who were swept into power by that revolution in 1979. That was when the Ayatollah Khomeini came to power, and 52 Americans were held hostage, blindfolded and paraded before the cameras. Although not all of the hostages remember Ahmadinejad as one of the hostage takers, a few, like Bill Doherty, are certain about their recollections.
I really have no doubts about that at all. I remember seeing him exercising authority, leadership position the first 2 weeks or so before I was moved into solitary confinement.
A spokesman for the newly elected president denies Ahmadinejad was one of the students who stormed the embassy. But no one has denied that he played a role after the embassy was taken over. A White House spokesman says the recollections of these former hostages are being taken very seriously, and officials are looking into the background of President-elect Ahmadinejad to sort out the facts from his past. Lauren Rogers, ABC News, Washington.
One former hostage couldn't be sure about his captors. Former Marine Embassy guard Paul Lewis says he thought the man looked vaguely familiar when he saw his picture on the news, but said, quote, "My memories were more of the gun barrel, not the people behind it." The teenage boy critically injured by a shark earlier this week has been upgraded to stable condition. Monday afternoon, 16-year-old Craig Hutto was fishing in waist-deep water with his brother when he was attacked by a shark. He was unconscious, losing a lot of blood, and airlifted to a hospital 50 miles away. Doctors had to amputate part of his right leg. This morning, Craig's parents and brother appeared on Good Morning America to talk about the attack and his progress.
I remember at one point in time grabbing Craig's arm and pulling, and I do remember hitting at least once. And then, like I said, my dad came out there and some other men from the beach came out, and we pulled him the rest of the way.
He's in good spirits. He's aware of everything that's happened, and he's looking, forward to, receiving a good prosthesis. He said he found one in Runner's World already, I think, that he wants to get, and so he's in good spirits. I think he's looking to the future.
Now, the attack came just 2 days after 14-year-old Jamie Daigle was killed by a shark just 80 miles away. She was swimming 100 yards offshore with a friend. Daigle managed to swim to shore, but died at a nearby hospital. In Minnesota, a storm chaser catches video of a tornado as it passes through a small town. Watch this. As you can see, the twister touches down in a remote area just north of St. James. No major structures were damaged, but that tornado got very close to at least one house. Thousands lost power, but so far, no injuries have been reported. Time for weather where you live with Miss Rhonda Shelby, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty day.
Oh, gorgeous day already. In fact, the clouds are clearing out around much of the area. There is one exception, though, along the coastline. I think you're going to see the clouds hanging around from Astoria down to Tillamook and probably down as far south as possibly Lincoln City before they start to really clear out for the afternoon, and it would be later in the afternoon. Let's take a look at what's going on right now with the close visible satellite picture that shows you where that bank of marine clouds are. And as you can see along the coast, we have them all the way down to the Central Oregon coast. Now they're starting to back away from the valley and starting to break up right here over the city. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon, just as it was yesterday. One thing you'll notice is the temperatures at this hour were about 3 or 4 degrees cooler yesterday at this hour. And that's because Aurora and McMinnville and as well as Hillsborough and Scappoose have all broken out a little earlier. So they're up to 70 degrees, 74 in McMinnville. They have a real shot at getting above 80 today. 68 in Vancouver, 65 in Troutdale, and right now at the airport we have 66 degrees. Let's check out what's happening at the airport. Still a hazy, cloudy day, but as I mentioned, you really can't see it here in this shot, but the clouds are really beginning to clear. And if you looked out the window here in downtown Portland, it's already starting to get nice there at the riverfront camera. Here's the Smith Tower camera in Vancouver. Some more sunlight getting through there, and eventually in the next hour or so, you'll be under mostly sunny skies. That's what we expect this afternoon. It should be gorgeous. Temperatures generally in the upper 70s, a high of 77 in Camas. This is the northern part of the metro area. Well, Longview will see a high of 76 and Scappoose at 76. And since areas out to the west broke out early, they should be closer to 80, like Lake Oswego and Tigard at 78. And Raleigh Hills at 79. Hillsborough should be at 79, as well as Banks and Forest Grove. 80 today in Salem, as well as Newburgh and Wilsonville. To the south, it should be just beautiful and comfortable today. And from Gresham to Troutdale to Sunnyside, around 77 degrees. Mostly sunny in Oregon City and Milwaukee. And off to the east, where we're in Estacada and Sandy, anywhere from about 75 to 78 degrees, depending on when the clouds clear for you. And my guess is pretty early for you as well. So morning clouds, but fair and warmer for the afternoon. And again, over this 4th of July holiday, we still expect cloud cover to roll in, but we don't see much rain in this forecast. It looks like much of the rain is going to stay north. So anybody heading north to Seattle or maybe over to Vancouver Island or to western British Columbia may see rain, but we have a pretty decent holiday weekend ahead. I'll have that coming up for you.
All right, are you calling your husband to tell him to get the boat ready, or
yes.
am I?
I am.
Because this is the day to be on the river, it sounds like.
This is definitely the day.
Especially before it gets too packed this weekend, right? With all
I think it's going to be packed this afternoon, too. Other people are thinking the same thing.
Secret's out, huh? Thank you, Ron. To talk to you soon. Well, this weekend, Lance Armstrong will go for his 7th straight Tour de France title. And not long after that, he's going to be riding right here in the Northwest. OHSU and Nike have announced the first Livestrong ride in Oregon. Organizers are expecting about 3,500 people to join Lance for the fundraiser. It's in September. That ride will start and end at Nike's Beaverton campus.
Lance Armstrong really is hope in human form. And everybody he touches, he gives hope to, because he's done it. And it will be a special event here on September 25th when he comes out to ride in this ride.
Armstrong started his foundation to raise money for cancer after surviving his own battle with the disease. If you would like more information on the Livestrong ride, go to our website at KATU.com and click on Hot Links. Still ahead on KATU News this midday. Did you see it? That odd-looking boat going down the Columbia River. Well, we did, and wonder who the stealth vessel belongs to. Coming up in 20 minutes, we're going to have details on what we learned about it. But first, looks like something out of Robocop, but it's being used in some hospitals around the country. How this robot is helping people with strokes and spinal cord injuries.
What happened to this popular TV anchor? Young, attractive, a rising star. One day, all her fans watched her on TV, and the next morning, no one could find her. How could she simply vanish? Friday, Elizabeth Vargas, the mind-bending mystery, only on 2020.
All across America, people are celebrating their freedom from credit card debt. They're using Consolidated Credit Counseling Services.
We work with credit card companies to get your interest rates reduced or even eliminated.
Consolidated cut our interest rates in half. Our payments dropped from $650 to $350 a month. It was great.
Call now, 1-800-774-8296. That's 1-800-774-8296.
Freedom!
When was the last time you got really excited about a sale? Announcing the half-off sale at Binion's. Now here's the sale you can really use. Half-off frames and lenses. Every frame in the store is half off, including all of our name brand and designer frames. Then get half-off lenses, including our thinnest, lightest lenses, bifocals, trifocals, even progressives. So get moving. This sale ends Saturday at Binion's. Why pay more?
Time for some featured jobs from KATU News and Job Dango. Crook County is hiring county council in Prineville. Summit Plumbing needs a journeyman plumber for residential and commercial construction in Bend. Inspiration Software looking for a software developer. For details on these jobs and many more, go to KATU.com, click on Northwest Jobs at the left side of our homepage.
This is the patented gutter helmet system that protects your home, roof, and gutters from leaves, twigs, and all that other junk. Plus, it means you never have to use a ladder. It's the best and safest way to protect your investment. Although some people never learn. See, the sensible choice is gutter helmet. Call and get the patented gutter helmet system. 1-888-4HELMET and save 15%, including a free estimate. Never clean your gutters again. Gutter helmet.
Furniture sale and clearance event. The entire store is on sale. Plus, free interest till 2010. It's the best deal in town. Zero minimum purchase, zero interest till 2010. Hurry, it's the final days and your last chance. Sale ends Tuesday. Wix, we've got the look. It's a Wix house.
To Your Health, Canada's Minister of Health wants to ban bulk exports of prescription drugs when supplies in this country run low. Drugs purchased from Canada's government subsidized health system can cost up to 75% less than the same drugs bought here. In Washington, storefront businesses help clients get U.S. prescriptions filled and shipped from Canadian pharmacies. Canada Drug Supply in Vancouver charges a one-time $20 fee and gets a commission from the Canadian pharmacy. Owner Jason Allen says banning bulk sales won't affect his clients.
It's bulk purchasing, that doesn't bother us. This is just real small, personal. You know, someone comes in and needs Fosmax and, you know, they can't afford it, so it's just real small for personal use. This is banning, like, you know, exporting a great quantity.
Do you have any questions about
In Oregon, the State Board of Pharmacy has forced all so-called internet pharmacies to close. If you sign up for an operation to shrink your stomach, your insurance company may first insist that you go on a diet. But a new study suggests these mandatory diets may do more harm than good. Some insurance companies are now requiring patients go through 6 months of weight loss counseling before they have gastric bypass. But in this study, researchers found the required counseling actually convinced people not to have the surgery. And for those who did go on to get the procedure, the counseling didn't help them lose any more weight in the long run. While the researchers feel this mandatory diet is unnecessary, they do agree patients need to spend time learning about what foods to put in their newly resized stomach. They recommend patients work with both a surgeon and a nutritionist to get the best results from their operation.
Robotics have revolutionized the way we live and work, and now they're helping stroke and spinal cord patients learn to walk again.
I think it's a great mechanism or tool, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it helped me out a lot because I couldn't move at all before I got into it.
It may seem like a scene out of a movie like Robocop, but it's real life. And some are calling the future of physical therapy this being the future of physical therapy. It's called Locomat, a new robotic device at the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago. It helps stroke and spinal cord injury patients like Jernard Fulton, who was injured in a shooting, learn to walk again. The Locomat is designed to do the work of as many as 4 therapists. It holds her in place in a harness, pushes her legs in a walking pattern to retrain muscles and nerves.
When Jernard first came to us, she couldn't sit up on her own. She couldn't stand on her own. And in that kind of situation in the clinic, it would be very daunting for one therapist to try to even stand her up and do any type of stepping at all.
That's just amazing. The robots are not in every rehab clinic yet, but they will be in a few more years. The Kidney Assist is the only one of its kind in the world, and clinical trials are now underway to see how it measures up.
Boy, that's incredible. Yeah. Still ahead on KATU News this midday, a new development in the case of a missing boy in Milwaukee. Police have towed this car from the scene. We have team coverage on the search for the missing 4-year-old when we come back. Plus, a 15-year-old girl is kicked, hit, and dragged by her hair. And now 4 teenagers are in juvenile detention after this attack involving her former boyfriend. And a 17-year-old girl is dead, and a judge has sentenced the man who sold her a lethal dose of meth. Up next, we're going to sort out the details of this unique plea bargain.
For 11 months out of the year, in the St. Paul Arena, time stands still. So does the dirt. But come 4 days in July, you'll get 8 seconds to witness the meanest, biggest, baddest, earth-pounding spectacle in the nation. The 2005 St. Paul Rodeo, July 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get tickets now at all Ticketmaster outlets or Ticketmaster.com. Bring 2 hats. You're gonna lose one.
If you don't think the used car you bought from Beaverton Honda is the best one you've ever owned, feel free to bring it back.
Just buy Bob and save.
If you carry this card, you'll want this card, the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. Even with Medicare, you could still pay nearly half of your medical bills out of your own pocket. If you're 65 or over, this card can help pay for what Medicare doesn't. This is one powerful card. It represents the only Medicare supplement plan endorsed by AARP. Why an AARP Medicare supplement plan? Because you can keep your own doctors without any referrals and no claim forms. Prescription drug coverage is available, and AARP group rates keep prices affordable. Call to get free information about these plans underwritten by United Healthcare Insurance Company. There's no obligation, and it's easy to switch to an AARP plan. Call and learn about our service extras, and you'll also get this free booklet. Call now even if you're not an AARP member yet, and join more than 2 million members enjoying the benefits of this powerful card. Call now.
When was the last time you got really excited about a sale? Announcing the half-off sale at Binion's. Get half off every frame in the store, then get half off your lenses, too. So get moving. This sale ends Saturday at Binion's. Why pay more?
The spirit of the Northwest. KATU News continues.
Welcome back. I'm Natalie Marmin. We have some new developments right now in the search for a missing 4-year-old boy in Milwaukee. Mattel Sanchez disappeared from his home on Southeast Daphne Court around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Dozens of crews have been searching throughout the night for any sign of him, and dozens of people have still been searching all day long today. Now, this morning, a National Guard chopper was called in to help. Jet Ranger 2 is live above the area where 60 to 70 people are looking for that boy right now. Our team coverage continues. K2's Bob High has the massive effort to find this boy, including some new cutting-edge technology that's being used. We begin with John Capel. John, with these new developments involving a car that we just saw towed away from the scene. What's going on with that, John?
That's correct, Natalie. This happened within about the last 20 minutes or so. An older model Nissan Sentra was sitting right there across from the house where Mattel lives with his family. This, we have confirmed, is the car that he drove up in, and we have this on videotape. The grandmother drove up in that car yesterday. Now, the grandmother was expected to have the boy when he first disappeared at 3 o'clock, about 3:30 yesterday, and here you see the car being removed right now. It was picked up and towed away. It was followed out by the crime scene investigation van as well. They did not touch the car. They kept it closed. We're assuming that they're taking it where they can take a closer look at that car. Now, this, as I was saying, was the car the grandmother drove up in yesterday at about 6:30. The family expected the grandmother to have had the boy at that point just for an outing. Turns out that she did not, or she said she did not at that point. Then the massive search began, going where that car has been now removed. We're assuming it's going to be removed for investigative purposes. We are also looking for another car as well. This they're considering a car of interest, also seen here in the cul-de-sac, parked around the time that he was supposed to have disappeared. This is a 2000 model or newer, smaller green car, possibly a Ford Escort. Now, it was seen in the cul-de-sac around that time that the boy disappeared. I want you to take a real good look at Mattel as well. He's 3 feet tall and weighs 45 pounds. Last seen wearing black jeans, a short-sleeved black and gray t-shirt, and brown sandals. Now, we have not heard from Milwaukee police at this point exactly why they towed that car away. But as I say, they did not open the car. This was the car the grandmother was seen coming to this area in yesterday afternoon. The car has been in the cul-de-sac since, and it's been sitting there. They've been taking a good close look at it throughout the day, and now they've towed it away and actually taken it to where we expect they'll be doing a little more closer look at that car at this point. Live in Milwaukee, John Capel, KATU News.
John, thanks. Boy, you get a sinking feeling when you see them towing a car like that. I have a question, John. Do you have any idea at this point, have the police mentioned if this area in this parking lot happened to have any cameras up or anything? Do they have video of the car they're looking for?
Well, no, they don't. Neighbors saw this green car in the neighborhood just before the boy was reported missing. This other car, we actually have video ourselves of this car being driven by the grandmother, this gray Sentra, the one that was taken away on a flatbed tow truck. And as we say, we assume they're looking for a search warrant to get in and take a look inside. They did not look in the trunk of this car, although the trunk appeared to be slightly ajar. Could have been damage to the car. The car is a bit beat up. Again, an older Nissan Sentra. That car has now been taken away from here. We haven't heard exactly why they took it away or how this relates to the case in this case, but we do know the grandmother was driving that car yesterday. Natalie.
All right, John, keep us posted out there. Now, the National Guard helicopter is using some new technology to help in the search for Mattel. It's sending video of the aerial search down to ground crews. K2's Bob High joins us live from the South High School in Milwaukee with the latest on how that end of all this is going. Bob?
This is the headquarters for that search. You see behind me the coordination center for crews on the ground and in the air. Ground crews are using a new system that in a very real sense allows them to fly along in real time with the helicopter helping in the search this morning.
45 pounds.
Ground crews.
Mattel Sanchez is wearing brown sandals, blue jeans, black and gray shirt.
Make final preparations before heading out to search for little Mattel Zachary Sanchez. This morning, they're getting high-tech help. An Oregon Army National Guard helicopter searching the area is linked by microwave to a ground receiver. Inside search headquarters, crews watch a monitor. They see what the helicopter sees.
So we can get very specific into what area we want to go into. We're in contact with them via the radio so that we can actually talk them into a target area.
The chopper has both visual and heat-sensing cameras. This is only the second time crews have used this system. They say it can be a big help.
So that's helpful to us, so we're not relaying back and forth constantly. If they see something, we can see directly what they're seeing.
It's got to be a huge asset for searching.
It's very big, and they can, it's so fine they can get right down to a license plate.
That's especially valuable since crews have to comb through the newly expanded 2-mile radius search zone, but the system is limited. Areas that can't be seen from the air must still be searched on foot. The helicopter can also miss small details, footprints, or discarded clothing. Ground crews are targeting nearby areas like the heavy brush near North Clackamas Aquatic Park, areas the 4-year-old boy and his family have been to recently, and he might have wandered back to. Once again, you're looking at a live picture from Jet Ranger 2 of some of the areas the crews have to search. You can see it's very heavily wooded. Fortunately, the weather has been relatively mild overnight and this morning. As you can see, the sun is breaking out once again. So if that 4-year-old boy is anywhere in the area, fortunately, he hasn't had to suffer through any heavy weather, and that is a good sign for them. Searchers expanded their search zone also for the youngster to 2 miles. That's based on studies that have been made in the past of missing children and how far a youngster of this age can wander away from his home. In the time, the average is about 1 mile, but they decided to expand that to 2 miles today because they don't know how fast he might have traveled during that time, and that's about the maximum that he could have traveled since he disappeared. Once again, we're live at the search headquarters for the search here in Milwaukee. Bob High, KATU News.
Oh, we know you'll keep us posted, Bob. Boy, we're just terrified about what's happening out there. Thank you very much. We have some other news. 4 teenagers are in juvenile detention this midday, accused of planning and carrying out a brutal attack on a 15-year-old girl. It happened Tuesday when the victim went to visit her old boyfriend. That's when police say 3 teenagers punched, kicked, and dragged her by the hair for several minutes. Another teen reportedly videotaped the entire incident. In Vancouver, a 26-year-old man pleads guilty to dealing meth to a 17-year-old girl who overdosed and died. Jose Hutchin May will spend nearly 6 years in prison. Tiffany Holy was 17 when she took meth and died in her apartment last November. Hutchin May faced a rare charge of killing Holy by giving her a controlled substance. Instead of facing a murder charge, he agreed to a plea bargain to avoid a trial.
If kids can just think before they start doing this stuff and see what it does to families, it's torn my family apart. My life will never be the same. And it's just, we've got to get to control over it.
The girl's family supported the plea bargain because they didn't want to go through a trial. A clinical audit of cases handled by the surgeon-branded Dr. Death reveals he contributed to the deaths of 8 patients at an Australian hospital. The fatality figure is considerably lower than an Australian government report linking Dr. J. and Patel to at least 87 patient deaths. Patel is currently the focus of a government inquiry examining why he was allowed to practice medicine despite being cited for negligence by medical boards in Oregon and New York. Well, there's a mystery on the Columbia River, and only a select few know the answer as to what it is. In a 2 exclusive, Dan Tilkin shows us what some have dubbed the stealth boat.
It was just down in the river here, and there was another boat that was following it.
The Debbie Rasmussen saw in the Columbia was this.
Because when I first saw it, I just thought, that looks really strange. And
barely above the waterline, sleek, quiet, and rarely seen. It's a mystery vessel that's built at the Vancouver yard of Oregon Iron Works.
Unfortunately, sir, I can't tell you very much. Right now, it is being built for a private customer, and currently they have asked us that they would like to remain anonymous.
I know that the first boat was built for the Israeli Navy.
Greg Harrington of the Columbian has been tracking the mystery vessels for several years. He obtained this amateur photo of what is believed to be the very first stealth vessel.
It holds a crew of 3, and at least this first version did, and 8 warriors who are Navy, intended to be someone such as the Navy SEALs.
This may be the only video ever shared of the multi-million-dollar mystery boats. And Oregon Iron Works says they're building the second of 2 for the U.S. Navy, dubbed Sea Lions. But they also insist the Sea Lions in this boat are not the same.
Well, I guess maybe to the naked eye, but actually, no, it's really not similar at all.
A private customer could be an overseas customer, and it could be an overseas military.
Could that be a country?
No, if we say private customer, that would be for a private customer.
Whoever it's for, it can't be that big of a secret.
I have no idea what it was for.
After all, the testing of the stealth boat is being done in broad daylight. Dan Tilkin, KATU News.
Senator Patty Murray's office says $9 million was earmarked for the Navy's version of the boat. Still ahead on KATU News this midday, soldiers struggle to deal with physical injuries sustained in battle, but a new hidden danger is also threatening our troops. We're going to explain that and much more still ahead.
Bringing Northwest color into your home is as easy as opening a can of Miller paint. Miller paint was born in the Northwest and comes in a wide range of colors, uniquely inspired by the Northwest landscape. Easier yet, when you visit your Miller paint store, you get friendly, expert advice that leads to picture-perfect results every time. If you can picture it, you can paint it. Miller paint, our paint.
Yes, international movement superstar, original boy man's sound. Big up to the
Whatever motivates you, now we have something that'll really get you moving. If you call right now, you'll pay absolutely no enrollment fee. But hurry, this offer ends today. Call 1-800-204-2400 today. You to the power of 24.
Is your bathroom ready for a makeover? Miracle Method can resurface your porcelain or fiberglass tub and add a fresh new color in just hours right in your location. Overnight, Miracle Method will give your bathroom a facelift that will make your tub, tile, shower, or sink look and feel like new again. Miracle Method can even bring new life to your kitchen counters and cabinets. You'll be amazed at the results. Save 75% off the cost of replacement. Call Miracle Method toll-free today or on the web at miraclemethod.com.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes, elbows, joints and lower backs,
Every day, your muscles take a beating. On tough muscle pain, nothing stronger or faster than Motrin IB. Not Advil, not Aleve, nothing.
Arms and necks and calves and thighs and hips, we take care of all of those. Head and shoulders, knees and toes.
Motrin IB, medicine with muscle.
One of the most common injuries in Iraq is something you've probably never heard of, TBI. It stands for traumatic brain injury.
Body armor doesn't protect our troops from deep TBI, and sometimes the symptoms surface long after they've left the battlefield. KATU's Elaine Murphy has a story.
Every war has a signature injury. For David Emmy, it came on November 19th when his truck set off an explosive device.
I didn't see a blast or anything. Next thing I know is I wake up and my head hurts. I had 2 teeth that were blown out. I basically didn't have an eardrum in my left ear.
And a brain that had been rattled back and forth in his helmet. A traumatic brain injury. More than 2/3 of the soldiers injured in a blast in Iraq suffer from a traumatic brain injury. Simply, it has become the signature of this war.
If I think about my head, if you think about even in a car accident, my head going forward, hitting the ground or the windshield.
Dr. Deborah Warden has seen firsthand the impact, and she knows this war is different. The Vietnam War became known for spinal cord injuries, limb amputations, and Agent Orange poisoning. The first Gulf War inflicted the controversial syndrome of the very same name. But this time, it is landmines, mortar attacks, and rocket-propelled grenades. They create blasts that literally rock the brain, similar to a high-impact car accident. The skull moves forward, impacts a hard surface, and then stops suddenly. The brain goes back and forth and then begins to swell.
It bruised my brain. And what ended up happening is my brain swelled up twice the size of a normal brain. They took a big hunk of my skull out.
The operation saved his life, and he looks pretty normal today, but the signature of a traumatic brain injury may be subtle.
It was like somebody speaking a foreign language, you know, and they had to keep on repeatedly telling me the same stuff because, you know, due to the brain injury, I had a hard time comprehending or talking or verbalizing a lot of stuff.
In mild cases, a traumatic brain injury may be a minor headache or occasional dizziness. More severe cases can involve complete memory loss, personality changes, or even persistent vegetative state. Unlike an obviously severed limb, traumatic brain injuries are difficult to diagnose, but they are increasingly common. Doctors at Walter Reed say they've seen more than twice the number of brain injury patients as limb amputees returning from Iraq. And today, all patients returning with a war wound are automatically screened for a traumatized brain. When Sergeant Emmy was screened, his doctors saw clear changes in his personality, such as anger and hostility, leading to violence.
A lot of times what they call this is they call this the silent wound or the silent injury. I'm not the Sergeant David Emmy that I used to be.
A silent signature of war. Elaine Murphy, KATU News.
And for more information on traumatic brain injuries, log on to our website and click on Hot Links. And coming up, we're going to talk about your weather forecast. As you know, the clouds are now clearing, blue sky overhead. We rated the day on a scale of 1 to 10, a 9. But tomorrow, let me just tell you, the rating goes down a bit. There's a clue for you. Microcast weather just ahead.
Starting tomorrow, Levitt's 4th of July sale is the bonus event of the year. There's bonus dining room chairs, bonus lamps, bonus cocktail tables, ottomans, and more. Save up to $1,100 on bedrooms, up to $800 on living rooms and dining rooms. The savings are unbelievable. And there's no down payment, no interest, and no monthly payments for 2 years. Levitt's 4th of July sale starts tomorrow with special store hours from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You'll love it at Levitt's.
People think scientists get inspired by only abstract things. Well, I have Sarah. Sarah was born with HIV. Drug discovery is complex. It takes thousands of scientists, 14, maybe 15 years to develop just one pill. That adds up to about $800 million. It's taken 20 years, but we've gone a long way toward eliminating HIV in children. I can't think of a better way the money could have been spent, or my life.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles.
Would you have guessed that these are the faces of children without a home? Their parents' lives took an unexpected turn. But that doesn't mean they have to lose the hopes and dreams of their childhood.
Hi, this is Father Joe Carroll. Make a gift of your car, truck, boat, RV, motorcycle, van, even a plane. And together we can change lives through our comprehensive programs and services. It's easy and it's tax deductible.
Make your gift today. For more information, call 1-888-FATHER-JOE.
Take greater artistic liberties now during Northwest Rug's 4th of July 4-day only sale. Take greater discounts and bigger savings while every Northwest Rug from classic to contemporary is on sale. With such low prices on all our masterpieces, you can have the freedom to indulge all your creative outlets with the most exquisite and successful rug designs of all times. With over 20,000 rugs to choose from, only the price will be less than you expect. Northwest Rugs, Carmen Drive, Wilsonville, Tannisbourne, and Jansen Beach.
Time for some weather details, and no complaints. You know I love the nice weather, but for those of us with allergies, how many boxes of these am I going to be going through?
She came into the weather center about 2 hours ago and said, do you have any more tissue?
A sunny day means, oh, a big Kleenex.
I'm really surprised that I'm not affected today. I think I'm more of a springtime allergy person.
Okay.
You know, I was running around, sniffling around here trying to work. And you're sniffling today trying to work. But it looks like what we're going to see this weekend is allergy relief for everyone. Cloudy skies, but at the
silver lining.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a silver lining. Here's the thing, though. I don't think we're going to see much rain. I do think it will be cooler, and here's what we're going to see today, because we're going to have a little bit of a mix of everything this weekend as far as weather goes. Partly cloudy skies right now in Portland. Current weather conditions along the coast. Increasing clouds at the moment. I think we'll start to see them burn off later in the day. It's going to take a while for the coastal region. The marine layer is a bit deeper than it is inland here in the valley, where it's burning off in Seattle. And Portland still hanging in pretty well in Kelso, Longview, and east of the Cascades. Started out sunny, and it will end a sunny day today, too. Here's a look at that close visible satellite picture. You can see right here where the marine layer is beginning to burn off a little more around Astoria, but still hanging in there around Seaside and Cannon Beach. And as you head down to the central Oregon coast, there's some areas there still cloudy. But we're going to see a beautiful afternoon, a lot like yesterday. 70 degrees in Portland right now, 70 in Vancouver, 66 in Troutdale, and 70 and sunny in Aurora, McMinnville, up to 74 at this hour. And east of the Cascades, most of the areas are either near 80 degrees or approaching it. 81 in Pendleton, 76 in Baker City, 78 in Wenatchee, and Spokane is coming in at 73. Here's a look at the satellite radar composite. And even though we have a ridge of high pressure that is generally sitting offshore right now, and actually a surface high that is sitting here as well, one of the big problems we're going to have over the weekend is the fact that this area of low pressure that's developing up here to the north, as it scoots by to the north, the tail end of it will brush our area and continue the onshore flow. So a lot of the marine clouds you see right out here will come in tonight and stick in here for much of the weekend with limited sun breaks. So here's a quick look at one of our models here that I think is pretty right on as to what's going to happen. Through the day, as we move through the day tomorrow, you'll see clouds moving into the area, and then they thicken up on Saturday. So tomorrow does look cooler. You may get some sun breaks in the afternoon, but Saturday, I doubt we see any sun breaks. And notice how microcast doesn't print out a lot of raindrops. I still think they are possible for our region. As a matter of fact, I think with this weak cold front overhead by Saturday afternoon, we will still see some possible showers here in the northern valley, not so much the central valley or south. But generally, this is how the holiday weekend looks. We're going to be cool all weekend, upper 60s on Saturday with the best possibility of showers then. Sunday and Monday, still on the cool side, morning clouds and afternoon clearing, and highs between 73 and 74 degrees. So really not bad for 4th of July. At least we don't have a lot of rain to talk about. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for the coast today. It's going to take you a little longer to clear to get to partly to mostly sunny skies by afternoon late. Winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 knots today in your marine forecast. Mid-70s to upper 70s in most areas, although slightly warmer in Salem and Eugene, near 80, high of 70 degrees at Government Camp under mostly sunny skies, and freezing levels gone to 14,000 feet for today. 80s and low 90s expected for central and eastern Oregon, and a high of 90 in the Dalles today, 78 for Stevenson. Our high should get up to near 80, 56 for low tonight, partly cloudy, then mostly cloudy overnight. Here's a quick look at how we rated the day for tomorrow, an 8. And in the 10-day trend, beyond this weekend, real summer returns, 70s and low 80s by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Rhonda, thank you very much. And some entertainment news right now. It's certainly not the warm welcome producers had hoped for. ABC has pulled the plug on that new reality series you've probably seen promoted, Welcome to the Neighborhood. It's received some heavy criticism.
So we enter your neighborhood with the hope of spending many days and nights. Did you ever think you'd get the chance to meet not one, but 2 or 3 Mr. Rights?
Well, Welcome to the Neighborhood was set to debut on July 10th. The reality series would have pushed the hot buttons of racism and homophobia as families picked a new neighbor. Producers originally thought that show would promote a healthy debate about people's fear of differences. Instead, it's drawn fire for doing the exact opposite. Some advocacy groups worry it will actually foster prejudice. Another group complained that evangelicals would appear judgmental and foolish. There's more to come. We'll be right back.
This summer, these 3 families will do something that's never been done before.
We have the opportunity to pick a neighbor.
They'll give away this dream home to one of these 7 diverse families.
Tattoos and mohawks hopping out of a minivan. That was like my worst nightmare.
Everything they believe will be tested.
I don't understand the gay issue.
But their lives will change forever.
I don't think that we'll ever look at someone and judge them again.
Welcome to the Neighborhood. Premieres Sunday, July 10th, only on ABC.
If you carry this card, you want this card, the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. Even with Medicare, you could still pay nearly half of your medical bills out of your own pocket. If you're 65 or over, this card can help pay for what Medicare doesn't. This is one powerful card. It represents the only Medicare supplement plan endorsed by AARP. Why an AARP Medicare supplement plan? Because you can keep your own doctors without any referrals and no claim forms. Prescription drug coverage is available, and AARP group rates keep prices affordable. Call to get free information about these plans underwritten by United Healthcare Insurance Company. There's no obligation, and it's easy to switch to an AARP plan. Call and learn about our service extras, and you'll also get this free booklet. Call now even if you're not an AARP member yet, and join more than 2 million members enjoying the benefits of this powerful card. Call now.
Yeah,
All across America, people are celebrating their freedom from credit card debt. They're using Consolidated Credit Counseling Services.
We work with credit card companies to get your interest rates reduced or even eliminated.
Consolidated cut our interest rates in half.
Our payments dropped from $650 to $350 a month. It was great.
Call now. 1-800-774-8296. That's 1-800-774-8296.
Freedom!
Here's a quick look at top stories this midday. It has now been more than 20 hours since anyone has seen this 4-year-old little boy. His name is Mattel Sanchez. The boy disappeared from his home on Daphne Court in Milwaukee yesterday afternoon. Less than an hour ago, police confiscated a car from that area. An Amber Alert has not been issued at this point. The FBI is assisting the Clackamas County Interagency Major Crimes Team in the search. 4 teenagers are in juvenile detention this midday, accused of planning and carrying out a brutal attack on a 15-year-old girl. It happened Tuesday when the victim went to see her ex-boyfriend. That's when police say 3 teenagers punched, kicked, and dragged the victim by her hair for several minutes. Another teenager reportedly sat and videotaped the entire incident. And 5 former U.S. hostages held in Tehran 25 years ago insist the newly elected Iranian president was one of their captors. In 1979, militant Islamic students seized the U.S. embassy and held 52 Americans hostage for more than a year. The president was elected last week. That's him. He was the favorite candidate of Iran's hardline clerics who were swept into power by that revolution in 1979. Coming up tonight on KATU News at 5, at least 5 cyclists have been killed in our area in the past month. Tonight, we're going to take a closer look at what's behind this rash of deaths and whether a war of the roads is to blame. And the latest on this really incredible video, look at it, out of Vancouver, BC, where an out-of-control ferry plowed into a marina a short time ago. At least 15 boats have been damaged or destroyed. Rescue crews are searching for possible victims. Join us tonight at 5 for a complete look at your day's news right here on KATU.
Finally today, this is a story about the big one that didn't get away. Check this out. Fishermen in Thailand caught a 646-pound catfish, the biggest one ever caught. Fishermen caught the Mekong giant catfish on May 1st, and they wanted to sell that fish to environmental groups, but it died before they could hand it over. But apparently it didn't go to waste. It was more than enough to feed an entire village. Apparently it was 9 feet long.
Can you imagine? The ultimate fishtail.
Yeah, the ultimate catfish, that's for sure.
What are folks going to send in to you now for fishtails at 5 o'clock that's going to compare to that?
That pretty much tops all of them.
Absolutely. And a pretty day as we say goodbye this afternoon.
High of 80 degrees today. Enjoy.
Oh, I absolutely enjoy. We'll be back tonight at 5. Please join us as well.
Thank you for watching the Northwest News Leader. For news online, go to KATU.com.
Pergo, $1.99 at RM Dietz, 503-22 Pergo.
Are you letting predators into your home? Their new hunting ground is the internet. In the last 5 years, child exploitation on the internet has risen over 200%. All internet screening programs are good, just not good enough. KV KidsNet is the only program that uses real people to evaluate content, and it works from inside your home. And it's recommended by law enforcement to keep kids safe online all the time. KV KidsNet, your eye on the internet 24/7. Brought to you in part by Legacy Health System.
KATU and you, the spirit of the Northwest. Brought to you by Consumer Cellular.
How do you like your life? If you want to know just how I really feel, just get the cameras rolling, get the action going.
Get more entertainment with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, July 8th at 7 p.m. Frankie Valli. Tickets are just $35 and $45. Call, go online, or stop by the Coyote Club desk. More rooms, more games, more food. Get more. Spirit Mountain Casino.
major sale and clearance event. The entire store is on sale. Plus, free interest till 2010. It's the best deal in town. Zero minimum purchase. Zero interest till 2010. Hurry, it's the final days and your last chance. Sale ends Tuesday. Wix, we've got the look.